season is almost over, so I figured let's go ahead and do a trophy pushing video. People seem to enjoy that. So we're going to be playing on my main account here on my phone, obviously, as usual. And we're going to be spectating from my alt account here. Now, I was up at about 5,600 here, and, you know, I managed to lose one right before recording this video, so we dropped a little bit. I'm at, oh, it still shows me as 5,621, but we dropped a few trophies, but that's okay. So we're going to pick it up here. 5,600 is about the highest I've ever been. I got it in a previous season, not in the previous season, but it was about 2 seasons ago, like when they did that big trophy inflation thing, so it was really easy for people to push. And so it was easy for me to attain that. So let's see if I can push from there on out, you know, now that I'm back up at about that trophy count. We're going to go ahead and start by tornadoing his hog into the tower. Oh, he's got another hog. I'm going to go ahead and just lumberjack that. And then I won't have much elixir to support the golem, but I mean, he invested, what, that's 4 elixir on the hog, and then the mirrored hog would be 5. So that's 9 altogether. So that's more than the golem itself. We're going to go ahead and Night Witch here on the right. And that skeleton army should do little to nothing to my tower here. And at this point, looks like I'm going to do some serious damage here. That wizard's going to give me trouble just because it's going to cleave out the Night Witch and all the bats really easily. But there is enough time for the Night Witch and the bats and the golem to do a bunch of damage to the tower, so we actually managed to take out his left tower there. Now this guy is only level 11, so keep that in mind. He is at a little bit of a handicap here. I'm sure that he's a good player if he's, you know, pushed this high at level 11. Most people at this point that I'm going up against are at, you know, like 12 or 13. But, you know, some people manage to push really early. Now, he actually Peka'd in the back, and I golemed in the back, and that might not be the greatest idea to some people, but I managed to get a pretty good push going when you have everything built up behind the golem, even if there is a P.E.K.K.A. And then if you got like a Night Witch with her bats stacked up, you can actually DPS down the P.E.K.K.A. pretty easily. We're going to have to pull that Hog Rider into the center here and just make sure that it's taken out. And the golem is taking a ton of damage here, but it looks like the wizard and the Princess Tower were able to take out that P.E.K.K.A. So let's go ahead and let's support this these golemites here. If I can get a big push going with the Night Witch there, and the wizard behind with just a sliver of health. Look at that. Can get a whole good chunk of damage off of that tower there on the left. He zaps to make sure that that wizard or whatever it was finished off. A little bit of a waste on his part, but it's alright. It's alright for me, at least. Alright, now again with the P.E.K.K.A., but I'm going to golem all the way in the back this time. I'm going to let his P.E.K.K.A. come a little bit further here, and then I'm going to see if I can defend against it with, you know, just my big wave. Let's tornado that. That was a sloppy tornado. That was my bad. We're going to Night Witch up here. Golem is going to be able to tank for the P.E.K.K.A. for a little bit. And at this point, I can afford to like go for a negative elixir trait to take out that wizard and get some extra chip damage off onto his tower. Just takes the wizard completely out of the equation, so he can't build up a push in front of it or anything. And it allows my guys to more safely get into that tower without having to worry about his, you know, high DPS ranged unit. So there's only 2 seconds left, or sorry, 9 seconds left. I was looking at the spectators, that's 2. And, oh, managed to take out that tower. Okay, so let's give him a good game. Not a bad start. I do feel a little bit bad because his card levels were definitely lower. So let's see if we can get a little bit more of some fair matches here in these next few matches that we play. Alright, guys, next match. Going up against Clyde. This is a level 12, so a little bit more of a fair fight, ideally. But again, when you do see those really low levels, like a level 11 at this range or whatever, especially if I saw like a level 10, I'd get really worried because I'm like, okay, 2 things. First of all, if they're that high up, regardless, they're probably pretty good of a player if they've managed to push that high in trophies when the majority of the other people in that trophy range are, you know, level 12 and 13. And secondly, they probably have one main ladder deck that they just like level up as much as they can. So they've got like a bunch of max or super high level cards, even though they're only like level 11. They've got like level 12 Hog Rider, level 13 Valkyrie, level 13 Musketeer, you know what I mean? So things like that. Let's go ahead and defend here with a Lumberjack. That should do a good enough job of defending against that Knight and the Wizard as well, ideally. Might not take the Wizard out, but it should get a swing or 2 off here and chip away at him. Yeah, that should be good enough. I'm not going to worry about it. I could snowball it to shut it down completely, but I'm just going to let it get the 2 swings off there, or 1 swing off rather. Or 1 fireball, I should say. He's not swinging anything other than his fists, I suppose. We're going to go ahead and you can actually tornado a Royal Giant. You need support units DPSing it, but it buys you a lot of time. You can see that by the time that he got to the tower, he only got time to get one shot off. Let's see if we can get the perfect time with the snowball here to counter that wizard. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Yes! All right, perfect. So that I actually posted that on Reddit a little while back. You can snowball the wizard at the perfect time, and you see that his wizard, if I'm not mistaken, it was max level, right? It was 13, so it was the same as my snowball, and it won't get any damage off onto the tower. And that's when the wizard's alone. I mean, it's always gonna fluctuate. Not often that you do see a wizard alone, but you know, that was one of those situations. So anyway, back to what I was saying about the Royal Giant. You can tornado him away from the lane, basically, and you know, back up across the bridge. And if you have some DPS units, you know, supporting at the same time, then you basically shut him down completely. Let's tornado everything in here. You saw it with that last situation with the Royal Giant. Even though I didn't shut him down completely, I got it so that he only got like one swing off onto the tower, and that was with very little support units until the very end there. Alright, so here's the Royal Giant again. I don't have Tornado, so we're just going to have to DPS it like crazy here. Let's get the Lumberjack down, and that should do a good job there. And let's get the Night Witch going. Ooh, is Lumberjack going to connect? There we go. Alright, Lumberjack is on the tower. Dang, he got that skeleton army. Good placement with that skeleton army. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I may get the right tower here. A Raged Wizard is not something to take lightly, I'm telling you guys. And at this point, I can just lightning the tower and win the match there. But yeah, Raged Wizard, pretty much like, if you get the Lumberjack down, and you have either of your other basic, you know, major DPS units, you know, your Night Witch or your Wizard, that Rage effect, man, it can allow them to do so much damage in such a short time. And you'd be surprised. People will sometimes like ignore the Wizard because they'll be sitting there like, oh, it's fine, it doesn't have a golem, I'll just let it do damage. Next thing you know, with like a Night Witch with a sliver of health in it, and then all the little bats tanking for a little while, the Wizard gets like 5 shots off on the tower because it's raged. It's like 2,000 damage done. It's crazy. Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump on into another match. Alright, going up against Varkus from Family Clash. What up, Varkus? Wonder if that's like a common name or something I'm not getting. Well, Thaddeus isn't exactly a common name. It's just some random, you know, like a medieval fantasy theme name, I guess. Or something like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and we're just going to kind of be plopping stuff down until we can get into a good cycle here. If I can get really good placement, I could lightning that to take out the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and the Ice Wiz, but honestly, there's no need at this point. Leaked a little bit of elixir there. That wasn't good. That was my bad. But anyway, here's a good example of what I was saying with the Tornado in the last match. We're going to pull everything together with the Tornado and the Lumberjack and the Wizard. Looks like the Royal Giant... Oh, no, he doesn't get a single swing off. Awesome. And then there we go with the Raged Wizard. That was really good. I didn't have to invest any extra elixir to shut that down. Wizard gets 2 shots off there onto the tower. And I can go ahead and put a Golem down back in the back here. Now that I have enough elixir and I've got a good cycle for it, and let's see what his major like win condition or whatever is. I don't know what he's thinking there. What's he doing? Why is he fireballing the tower with a golem? That's weird. Maybe he gave up. I don't know. It could be. No, he didn't give up. He's still putting stuff down. That's really odd. Okay, let's lightning all of this, and that should take it out. Definitely gonna take out the Wizard. It might not take out the P.E.K.K.A., but yeah, the Night Witch finishes off the P.E.K.K.A. there. And that works out really great for me. I'm just going to leave the Golem alone. I'll let all that stuff do its damage to him. I'll let him do the death damage. It looks like... I couldn't tell. I think he got the death damage off there, right? We're going to go ahead and Wizard here just to make sure that these minions are shut down. Then I have something automatically defending against the Bomber as well. And that should shut the Bomber down. And Wizard lives with a good chunk of health. Looks like about half of his health pool left. He's going to fireball the Wizard. Okay. Whatever floats your boat, dude. And at this point, I think I can either... I could go aggressive with the Golem, but I think what I'm going to do is actually try to build up a really massive push here, because we're in double elixir time here now, so we can afford to go a little bit more... Oh, let me get back on track here. Sorry, I got to stop looking at the camera and start looking at the game. Got to defend against that Royal Giant. We're in double elixir, so we can afford to get a little bit more, like, you know, comfortable with the Golem and the usage of the Golem. We don't have to be super, like, cautious about, like, okay... Do I really want to invest that full 8 elixir into putting a really heavy unit down all the way in the back? Because we're in double elixir, so it's not as big of a deal to invest that full 8 elixir, because we can get that back a lot quicker. And we get a big push here going with the Lumberjack. Not big enough, unfortunately, but the tower is now within double lightning range. And I actually had a really good match earlier. Maybe I should even include that in the video at the end or something. I don't know. We'll see. Where I was playing this deck, and the match got into only like 45 seconds left, and it was up against like a P.E.K.K.A deck, I think it was. Let me make sure to defend this. And I managed to have his tower at about 700 health, and I knew that it was 2 lightnings, but I didn't want to invest the lightning in the full 6 elixir into the lightning, especially if it didn't get any extra value there, because then that'll allow him to put his P.E.K.K.A down aggressively and everything. So I ended up in the last 45 seconds just saying, all right, let's give it a try, let's risk it, let's put the lightning down, and in this case here, let's also put the lightning down. 1, 2, 3, and that should finish off the tower there. Oops, did not mean to place the giant snowball. So I put the lightning down. I keep getting distracted here by the main match. And he got really aggressive with the P.E.K.K.A and almost took out my king tower, but I was able to, in the last, second, like with maybe 10 seconds or so left, in double elixir overtime, get the second lightning off and finish off his tower. So it's really risky. Easily that could have gone the other way and not have gone well for me, but it just happened to work out well in that particular scenario. So let's go ahead and jump on into one more match. Oh man, I was in the middle of a good match there, guys, talking about how, oh, this is the highest I've ever been in trophies, and then I got an important phone call, and I absolutely had to answer it. It was important, and so I made sure to cut that out of the video. And we're going to go ahead and jump on into another match here. Let's get that princess, maybe? Yes, I clipped the princess. Awesome. That's what I was hoping for. We're going to giant snowball all of this just to buy me a little bit of time. That could be trouble with the Mega Minion and the Miner. But I'm just going to let it do a bunch of damage. And I'm going to invest in supporting the Golem here. And the Barbarians are actually going to do a really good job of shutting down the Golem. But hopefully with all the bats and everything in the back here, I can get a little bit of damage off into the right tower. It doesn't look like I'm going to do a whole lot, but at least I got something there. And I have a little bit better of a understanding of his deck at this point, so we're going to go ahead and try to play accordingly. He's definitely got kind of a cheap, aggressive, minor chip bait kind of deck. So we're just going to pretty much let that left tower fall. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to let it die to the minions. And we're going to go ahead and go in the right here with the Golem in the back. And let's go ahead and we're going to wizard behind him, I think. And, yeah, wizard will be good. Ooh, a little bit too close, but maybe not, actually. Is he going to miner it? Yep, and that's why we have the tornado. Thank you. Thank you, Tornado, for being such an awesome rigged epic card. And he tries to skeleton army desperately there, but it doesn't work out for him. So we're going to go ahead and just support this Golem like crazy. We're going to go in for a big push here on the right. I'm thinking because he's running such a cheap chip damage deck, there's a chance that we're able to just fully invest in trying to 3-crown him right here. I mean, that wizard's staying alive forever. Look at that insane damage onto the tower. We're not going to get too greedy and aggressive here yet. We're going to go ahead and play defense here. Make sure that we're, playing smart. And let's get that princess with a giant snowball. I probably missed her, but it's okay. Wizard's going to finish her off. And we're going to go, I'm thinking probably aggressive with the Golem here at the end. Yeah, let's get the Golem down. And I'm just going to get ready to lightning all of this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, dang, it got the Barbarians. I should have placed it further up. Well, death damage goes off onto the tower. And meanwhile, look at the wizard just going to town on that lava hound. Guys, at this point, all I gotta do is giant snowball his king tower, give him a good game, and give him the Chinese New Year piggy emote because I love it. Alright, guys, that is a nice last live match. Now, I mentioned showing you guys this replay of a really good match that I had earlier, especially for the finisher and using that lightning to finish off the tower. So I'm going to skim through it. We're going to watch it in double time to go ahead and wrap this video on up. So this was the match that actually got me to 5,600 earlier today for the first time. And at the end here, you know, I was able to push pretty high up. Let's see, how high did I actually get? 56, 57, which is the highest I've been. I would have been a little bit higher if I hadn't had to disconnect for that important phone call. But again, you know, priorities, and you need to prioritize the business things first. So you can see he's running a really funky deck, but it's really powerful. And it's got the P.E.K.K.A. and it's got the giant skeleton in it. And I allow the P.E.K.K.A. to do some damage there. You know, not the best usage, not the best, you know, scenario for me. I could have defended better. But he actually uses the arrows to finish off my Mega Minion, which to me was a kind of a bit of a elixir waste. You see what I do here? He cycled P.E.K.K.A. in the back, so I made sure to put Golem aggressively in the opposite lane. And the Night Witch actually manages to take out that Tombstone before it pulls the Golem far enough so that it gets kited into the right tower. I use the Lumberjack kind of desperately to defend against the P.E.K.K.A. there, but I just decided to let the tower fall. And in the meantime, the Golem is going to town, completely takes out the left tower pretty much by himself. I think he got a little bit of support there. And then I go aggressive with the Golem here in the right. I'm thinking maybe Lightning, I could take that stuff out, and I actually do just that. But I need to make sure to defend in the left here against the Giant Skeleton and the Electro Wiz and another Giant Skeleton. So we do all kinds of fun kiting stuff here. This is where it gets really intense, and we get into double elixir time with both towers at relatively low HP. You know, his tower is a little bit less than half, mine's probably at about half. So at this point I'm thinking like, okay, I could Lightning Cycle, but it's just too high up in HP. I don't want to invest that much elixir in it. So I'm going to just keep defending, playing patient, trying to go for that right tower. And a few times I get into my head like, okay, let's get an aggressive Golem down. Actually Lightning there to get it a little bit lower. And I managed to clip the Wizard, so it got some really good value there. He's using that Giant Skeleton really well, and you can see I'm using the, the Golem aggressively there. But he's defending against it pretty well. And that was actually my tornado that pulled the P.E.K.K.A. out a little bit. And the P.E.K.K.A. was so big and fat that it actually pulled my Golemites down a little bit, so that didn't work out too well for me. You know, I need to make sure to defend here. Night Witch doing a good job of shutting down the P.E.K.K.A. She absorbs like 2 or 3 hits. I think just 2 actually. But then all her bats do a ton of damage to the P.E.K.K.A. He's getting aggressive with the P.E.K.K.A. here in the left. I actually kite the P.E.K.K.A. into the opposite lane with the Golem like it's a dinky little ice Golem, but it's actually the giant regular Golem. And we support it as much as we can, but he uses the Tombstone aggressively, causes the Golemites to go backwards there. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, there's like 40 seconds. I use the Lightning aggressively there. You could see it was almost a mistake because he gets a massive push going here. But that Tornado Wizard combo with the giant Snowball and then just investing a lot on defense there, he almost gets the 3 crown, but I'm able to cycle back to Lightning, finish off his tower there at the very end. So that was a fun little match I wanted to share with you guys for the end of the video here. So, you know, new trophy record. I got it on camera. That's fun. Haven't been playing as much, so I haven't been able to trophy push as much just because I've been, you know, covering all kinds of other different kinds of games and playing them and stuff. So, make sure to enjoy, or excuse me, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, you can leave it a thumbs down. That's fine. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. You can hit that little Berger down there or wherever the Berger pops up in a few seconds here. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you like these trophy pushing matches, or if you don't like them, or if you want to see me cover other decks or other games, or if you want to come on the channel, any of that good stuff, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. You can also just say, hey, what's cracking, Mr. Berger? Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a good night.